It's back to work here on Tuesday as Nebraska continues preparations for Michigan State on Saturday. And we caught up with defensive coordinator Tony White, special teams coordinator Ed Foley, and a number of players as they get ready for the Spartans. And first and foremost, White talked about just his group and how they've really played the last few weeks.
The young men have done everything asked of them, and so when you point out things which, even as a coach, you're always learning as well. It's the standard of play versus the results, and so many times everybody gets fixated on the results, and it's believe me, it's great to win and all that stuff. But what happens is you neglect those things that'll get you beat, later on down the line or against better opponents. So we're always looking at the standard of play, because I think that when that takes precedence over the results, you'll be happy with the results more than not, right? But the young men, they saw it, and they said, yeah, they agreed with it, and so had a big emphasis today on the standard, meeting the standard versus don't worry about the results.
The play of this defensive line continues to be a story for Nebraska's defense.
I thought the guys up front really did a nice job of making him nervous and running around and all that kind of stuff, getting him out of rhythm. Those kind of offenses, they need to operate in rhythm, and to get going, and they're really explosive. So the disruption up there, I know it might not have shown up in the stat line, but those guys did a really nice job, D-line and backers, of making sure that they weren't on time.
And we've seen a lot of freshmen step up for the Huskers as Princewell Uman-Yellen continues to be a factor for Tony White's defense.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back and watch the film, so they saw pressure and they threw a couple slants early on, and so in that defense, P. Will, I mean, everybody saw the tackle, right, which was a big time play, because that's a skilled athlete in the open field. But what people didn't see was he took the slant away. He dropped. So in the first window, the quarterback looks to throw the slant, and he's sitting there in the window, which made him then check it down, which then made P. Will run out there and go tackle that athlete in open space. So, again, as he continues to develop, he does things like that on the field, and you're like, well, that's why he's out there running around, as a true freshman.
And special teams needs to be an area for Nebraska, and for Ed Foley, his crew came up with a big play last week when Quentin Newsome scored off a blocked field goal.
Yeah, the field goal block was what we call our crash. So it was, off the edge. We had Tommy coming. Tommy Hill came off to block it from the outside from the field, and Quentin was in what we call our scoop and score position. So he wasn't trying to block the kick. He was just trying to put himself in position that if the kick gets blocked, when the kick gets blocked, and keep telling him we're going to eventually get one, you're there to, we call him the scoop and score guy. In the playbook it says scoop and score, but every once in a while you get the benefit of having it pop right to you. So we got good penetration by the inside guys. They muffed their operation a little bit, so the kick was a little bit low, but Elijah Judy got through. Ty Robinson got good push there, so they pushed the line of scrimmage back, which is what we're trying to do. And Elijah got it and knocked it right to right to Q. Q made a really nice play on the ball. Because the ball came up in the air. You want to say it came right to him, but it kind of didn't. He kind of made an over-the-shoulder catch, which, and as you guys know, if that ball hits the ground, we're probably getting tackled. But so he had it and he came over the shoulder, made a nice over-the-shoulder catch, and then had a clear path. And then obviously Tommy was coming off the other side to block it, so Tommy could run interference for him coming down that way. But it was well executed, and it was obviously a fun play to be part of.
Foley was also pleased with Tristan Alvano in making his 55-yard field goal.
He's confident. I mean, the moment's not too big for him, and I think the one last week, Northwestern, the 47-yarder to come in and hit that one, I think led to the 55. So when Coach turns to me, we start off the day with a marker for like kind of where the success rate is on those kicks, and we put it there. But it's not really a distance issue. It's just a consistency issue. So we just got to, like any freshman player at any position, you got to develop a consistency in the routine and making sure that the balls are going down the middle. enough times, but he has the leg range. And we had a little bit of wind going that way, so I can't remember. I think the goal that way was like 30 or whatever, the 30-yard line. But Matt looked at me and I said, "Yeah, you give him a shot," because we had a good favorable wind, and he was amped up.
And as we get down the stretch here, punter Brian Buschini's role becomes more important as the field position he can give Nebraska is a big factor.
It's important, but I think it's always been important. But it's really fun to play with a team that has a really good defense because when they get stops and the other team punts the football down, we're in kind of that spot of the field usually with our offense where I get a lot of pooch opportunities, like to try to pin the other team down. And so I think part of that's why I've been able to have more inside the 20s this year already than I did all of last year on about half as many punts. And so if I can just continue to work hard and try to put the team in the best spot, utilizing those punts, Phelan's one of the top gunners in the country at downing those types of punts. And so that helps the defense really well. And, that's all I really care about right now is helping the team get some wins. So, it's a big way.
Yeah, he's been great. Like he if you look at him after the Colorado game in the punts where he's placed the ball and his hang times, and he has had one punt with the wind where I said, let it rip, and it was that 59-yarder the other day. It was. He's like, "Coach, but it's on the." He knew it. He was like, "Coach, I'm going to pooch this ball because I don't want to hit it in the end zone." I said, "You've been pooching enough balls now. Let this one rip and let's see where it goes." And the thing went 60 yards. The thing was gonna. I mean, that would have been a 75-yard punt if the ball was back any further. And it was about a 4.8 hang time. So I've limited him, but it's the situations that have limited him to. Where his numbers I'm not a numbers guy when it comes to the punt. If you got a punter that's out there and he's putting the ball, in the spot that you needed to put, and you're making hits like Mondo made, where the ball's caught and we're hitting him right away, you got some operational things that are working. That punt was placed perfectly. It was into probably a 15-mile-an-hour wind, and it went 44 yards with a 4.4 hang time, and gave Mondo enough time to go down there, get released, and make that play for a net gain of 0. So, those are the things that we're really focusing on. And if you look at him over the course since Colorado, he's hit some balls. Sean, don't get me wrong, but he has really done a good job of putting the ball where we want it to go, and and going and fielding it and making the play.
We also caught up with a number of defensive players who had a lot of positive things to say about just how this unit has come together.
We love each other, and we don't want to let each other down. I feel like it's more of a brotherhood now, so knowing that we got each other's back, it helped us play to our full potential with no fear.
I mean, we go to battle every day. Tuesday, Wednesdays, that's our hardest day, so we kind of take accountability in those days. We fight, we yell at each other, and that builds bondage in the defense, D linemen, linebackers, and DBs, and it shows on game day.
Meanwhile, on offense, running back Emmett Johnson's emergence has been one of the better stories that's come out of this run here in 2023.
I thought we had a pretty good performance, but overall, me personally, I could do a better job. I could have hit some runs for more yards, and I really came in the film trying to see the things I can get better at, not watching the good things. But I think we can correct the little mistakes, little things like turnovers and everything moving forward. We'll be ready for Michigan State.
Quarterback Heinrich Haarberg didn't speak with reporters here on Tuesday, but his toughness is something that all of his teammates have a lot of respect for.
H is a dog. I mean, everyone can see that. He's been taking hits after hits, like you said. I mean, I've always known he's a dog, and everyone's just seeing it now. He's putting himself in a place, where people are seeing how hard he works and how tough he is, and people are noticing that. Obviously, it's not fun as a quarterback getting smoked every play, but that's the type of offense we run and type player he is. And I think he just, like I said, he's just showing how tough he is, and everyone gets to see that now.
And then finally, this is a big game for Nebraska. We all know what it means. The Huskers have a chance to qualify for a bowl game for the first time since 2016.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we put in a ton of work. The team's put a ton of work, coaches, everybody, to get to the point we are now. And I think it's a testament to playing through adversity and everybody's injuries and everything that's happened, and just having the what's next mentality and just moving forward for sure.
Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com.